Hey chat, today you know we back, bro. And today, bro, listen, bro. I don't know why my face looks so shiny, bro. But listen, right? I got something for you, bro. I learned a new dance. Look at this. Look at this. I got some drip on too. Hold on. You know what I'm saying? Look. Imagine, bro, I'm doing a TikTok, right? And I'm like this. Hold on. I come in like this. Yo, look. I don't know, bro. I really can't show you guys, but like, bro, on stream, you guys gotta just tune in on the streams, man. You know what I'm saying? Twitch, it's in the bio. You guys follow that, bro. Come on. All right. But let's get straight into the video, man. Creepiest workplace accidents. I do not know what to expect, but you know what I'm saying. We're gonna see right in this video. Let's go. Hell yeah.
A 51-year-old Chinese woman named Zhang tried to defy the laws of physics. She was working at a garment factory in Taizhou when two of her colleagues decided to take a dangerous risk. They loaded 52 metal sheets weighing 4 tons onto a forklift, fully aware they were exceeding the weight limit by half a ton. So, to outsmart gravity, the workers sat on the back of the forklift to counterbalance the weight. But he obviously didn't weigh 500 kilograms. As a result, the forklift tipped forward, lifting its rear wheels off the ground. The next 15 seconds were the last of Zhang's life. Still, her tragic story is just the first in a series of eerie ways to lose one's life at the workplace. So, viewer discretion is advised. Breaking the laws of physics is definitely risky, but creating the illusion that you've been...
I want to see, like, you know what I'm saying? My stuff is, like, good. Look good? And chat, bro, I just got a haircut, man. So, you know what I'm saying, bro? But just chill, bro. Like, chill, man. You know what I'm saying, man? All right, bro. Come on, hold on. Let's go, bro. Let's lock in, bro. I'm talking too much, man.
Them is a different story. I'm talking about the sponsor of this video.
Nigga,
whose globes vary their own into something to stop the vehicle with her bare hands. Yet the laws of physics are unyielding. When Zhang was lifted off the ground, she lost her grip and fell under the forklift. At that moment, the metal sheets slipped, and the rear wheels came crashing down.
I ain't gonna lie, my fault I yelled, bro, but that shit sounded so sad, bro. Damn, bro.
Down directly on her. To make matters worse, the panicked driver hit the gas, pulling Zhang even further under the machine. It was still 1:47 p.m., and only 15 seconds had passed. Factory workers couldn't free Zhang from the trap, and when rescuers arrived, all they could do was confirm her death. This tragedy could have been avoided if the workers had used the forklift properly. Conscious disregard for safety rules is one of the...
Oh, bro, when you guys are working, bro, always watch out for that one dumbass. Because, bro, I feel like every workplace got a dumbass, you know what I'm saying? Watch out for that nigga, bro. I'm telling you, bro, for your safety, bro. I love you guys in the chat, man. Come on, bro.
Leading causes of workplace deaths. However, the consequences don't always fall on those who break the rules. The first thing 21-year-old Day Davis did at his new job was snap a photo and send it to his fiancée. Not long before, they had lost their newborn daughter, a tragedy that pushed Davis, who had a reputation for slacking off, to turn his life around. At 2 p.m. on August 16, 2012, Davis reported to work at Rum Factory No. 7 in Jacksonville, Florida. He had taken a temporary job there for modest pay, but he was proud. It was his first day at his first ever job after graduating. Davis worked on a palletizer, a machine that packs and stacks cases of filled bottles onto a pallet. They roll down the line, get compressed into a square, and then the platform lowers the completed pallet. Sometimes, though, the bottles would collide and break, covering the conveyor with glass and sticky rum. This had been happening for years, yet no one seemed to care, except for the palletizer operators, who had to stop the machine and clean it manually. That day was no different. The operators halted the conveyor, and at 4:46 p.m., Davis ducked underneath it to clean up the glass. Workers were afraid of delaying production, so they did everything as quickly as possible, even if it meant compromising their own safety. After shutting down the machine, they were supposed to lock it to prevent it from being turned back on. Then, they were meant to place special supports under the platform to ensure it couldn't lower while someone was underneath.
Bro, I know what's gonna
However,
happen, bro.
this time, the workers didn't do any of this to avoid wasting precious minutes. So, when the supervisor and operator finished cleaning the conveyor above Davis, they closed the gates and restarted the machine. It was exactly 4:49 p.m. when the factory was pierced by David's scream, as he was crushed by cases of bottles weighing over 900 kilograms. Rescuers arrived within minutes, but Davis was already gone.
Wait, how much does the elephant weigh? Hey Siri, how much does the elephant weigh? Hey, bro. Damn, bro. I was just curious, chat.
Factory owners fixed the palletizer and not forced workers into situations where they feared taking time for their own safety. This wouldn't have happened. Nor would the many other accidents involving temporary workers in the U.S. who face a significantly higher risk of injury on the job than full-time ones. In Florida, this rate is 50% higher. In Oregon, 66%. And in Minnesota, a staggering 72%. However, other workers who have worked with their equipment for a long time and with great success often become so confident in their abilities that they simply disregard safety rules.
Nigga,
this happened at a snack factory in the Chinese city of Dalian. It was 5 p.m. on June 27th, 2022. A man, whose identity remains unknown, was working near a lathe. He spent less than a minute prepping the machine, and only after pressing the start button did he realize his fatal mistake.
No.
But it was too late. The man was pulled into the lathe, spinning at a terrifying speed for a full 10 seconds until...
Bro, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I know you guys sent me this, bro. But, bro, this video is too sad, bro. God dang, bro.
His colleagues shut down the machine. They were horrified by what they saw because, despite the gruesome injuries, the man was still breathing.
Sad, bro.
It sounds unbelievable, yet doctors managed to save the guy, and he survived. Now, another worker wasn't so lucky in the winter of 2019. He was working with metal near a similar machine, dressed in protective gear. But for some reason, he didn't bother to follow another safety rule.
Hell no.
Instead of walking around the lathe to turn it on, the man...
Look, chat, bro. Look. Yesterday, a couple days ago, right? Bro, I went to 5 Below, bro. And, you know, I be messing with anime, right? Like, I be messing with anime, you know? So I seen One Piece and I seen a JJK thing, right? Bro, imagine... I haven't watched One Piece yet, so I'm like, yo, fuck it, man. Let's get that JJK, you know what I'm saying? And then I got this, bro. What you think about this? Is this hard, bro? Or am I like a goofball for like copying shit like this? This shit look hard, bro. To me, at least, my nigga. I think that shit hard, bro.
Leaned over the spindle.
I'm gonna stop pausing though, nigga.
At that moment, a part of his protective clothing got caught in the machine, dragging him right in after. Within seconds, his agony was over, and he passed away on the spot. Accidents like these are so common that it's worth reminding everyone about the importance of following all safety rules when working with equipment, especially machinery with fast-moving parts. However, in the Indian city of Surat, a textile factory worker was tinkering around a spinning machine wearing just jeans and a t-shirt. His job was to control the speed and tension of the threads winding onto a spool. It seemed like nothing dangerous. Suddenly, his hand got tangled in one of the threads, and he was instantly wrapped around the giant spool. His body twisted and cocooned in threads like a spider's web. This nightmare lasted about 7 seconds.
This nigga got... Bro. This nigga dead ass. Bro. Nah, I'm not gonna make a joke.
Seconds before the spool finally stopped. Other workers rushed over to free their colleague from the trap. They cut the threads and carefully laid him on the ground, afraid that every move could worsen his condition. They probably remembered the warning from the president of the Federation of Weavers' Welfare Associations that an accident involving a spinning machine almost always means certain death. This time, though, a miracle happened. The man calmly stood up and dusted himself off, suffering only a few bruises. Well, if he had been working with a paper machine, like the person in the next story, he wouldn't have had even a slim chance of survival.
Paper machine?
I don't know the worker's name or the exact location of where this video was filmed, but the footage is dated June 22nd, 2023 at 8:55 a.m. 2 workers were at a factory near a roller press, feeding paper strips onto it. This massive metal cylinder spins rapidly, just 10 centimeters above the floor. When a wide strip of paper fell off the conveyor, one worker simply tossed it back onto the roller. But suddenly, he was also pulled into the machine.
No.
His body was dragged down until it vanished into the 10-centimeter gap under the press. Panic erupted. Workers tried to rescue the poor man, but it took them a full minute to stop the roller. Perhaps they didn't know how to shut down the machine in an emergency, or maybe the necessary button was too far away, or even inaccessible to them. In any case, the violation of safety rules claimed yet another life. Such irresponsibility causes suffering for people worldwide and in all kinds of jobs. For example, what could possibly be dangerous on a ship that is already docked in port? In reality, that's when one of the deadliest incidents can happen. You've probably never heard of a snapback zone, but the crews of large vessels have special markings and signs warning about this area. This man, who was mooring a ship on February 9th, 2021, should have been aware of it. He was using a large winch to wind one of the ropes holding the ship at the dock. Yet when a thicker section of the rope appeared on the screen, it suddenly tightened and, within a second, snapped back with such force that it struck the man by the winch like a giant whip. Dangerous spots on the deck, where the ends of a broken rope can fly, are called snapback zones. Many tragedies have occurred in these zones before markings were introduced. Unfortunately, the man in this video either didn't know the rules or chose to ignore them. But how badly he was injured remains unknown. On another ship, crew members were also working with mooring lines. One of them was performing some task near the chain connecting two sections of the rope. And just as the workers signaled to someone off camera and stepped back from the rope, it snapped. The exact consequences of this incident are also unknown, but I suspect it didn't end without a trip to the hospital. Let's hope all these sailors are all alive, because some people get lucky even in the worst circumstances.
Yo, Chad, this is why I'm not doing these shits, bro. Like, these type of jobs or, like, these type of things, bro. Honestly, just pay attention to what you're doing, my nigga. For real, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Just, nigga, this can happen to you watching my video right now, bro. And I truly care about you because you took the time in the day to watch me succeed on my YouTube video, you know? You want to see me succeed. I want to see you succeed. So please just, bro, don't do anything like that, bro. Don't do anything like that, man.
On September 2nd, 1990, the streets of Vancouver, Canada, witnessed the first ever city-hosted race of the championship auto racing teams. Local driver Ross Bentley finished last in the standings, but still qualified. He started the race and was performing well until the 16th lap, when his car stalled on one of the winding turns. A group of marshals immediately rushed to push Bentley's car off the track. As soon as the vehicle regained traction, the marshals hurried back to their posts. However, at that very moment, Willie T. Ribbs' car came around the corner, scattering 4 people. Only 22-year-old Jean-Patrick Hein was struck directly by the car. He lay unconscious on the track, surrounded by his colleagues, yet the race was not stopped. Hein was taken to the hospital, but he died that same day. Due to the barriers, Ribbs couldn't see the marshals in time, especially at such speed. Ironically, this race marked Ribbs' best performance in the championship. Perhaps the marshals made a catastrophic mistake. Or maybe in 1990, racing rules weren't as strict as today. Or it's just that cars are inherently dangerous, even those with a top speed of only 30 kilometers per hour. Although the warehouse worker featured in this video probably didn't think that way until July 2017. At first, everything seemed normal. The driver was slowly moving between 2 tall shelves on a forklift. Meanwhile, other workers were inspecting boxes that stood neatly in the middle of the aisle. And as the driver approached them, a catastrophe occurred, often dramatized in movies. The driver swerved to avoid the obstacle when suddenly the shelf collapsed. A cascade of boxes pushed the forklift across the aisle, burying it under the contents of the second shelf, which also collapsed. Then the warehouse section began falling one by one, creating a terrifying yet spectacular domino effect. And this wasn't a movie, it was real life. The collapse only stopped after a significant portion of the warehouse had come down. It's unclear where this disaster happened, or if the forklift driver survived, but it seems the fault doesn't lie with the worker. If all it took to bring down half the warehouse was a barely noticeable touch of the forklift roof to a box, then the problem likely lies in the weak construction of the shelves. On March 27th, 2024, There were chilling reports about the
Bro,
Vandapak
this is
factory in
2024.
Thailand's
This was, like,
Chonburi province.
recent
At
as hell.
4:47 a.m., surveillance footage shows two workers calmly working in a shop. Suddenly, a robotic arm lowered directly onto one of them, pinning him to the bench where he had just placed a metal sheet. The man didn't even have time to scream, so his colleague had no idea about the horror happening right behind him. The injured worker was eventually freed from the trap, but couldn't be saved. The factory administration claimed the
That
robot
robot,
was
I feel
functioning
like that
correctly,
robot-
yet the man had ducked up.
Chat, I feel like that robot knows what he's doing. Is that crazy to say? Is that crazy, bro? Because it's moving by itself. Does anyone control it?
Under it at the wrong time. And according to the managers, all employees assumed responsibility for any workplace accidents. In reality, though, this is an unfair shifting of responsibility. The robotic arm should have been equipped with a signal warning of its activation, and the worker's area
Yeah, that
should
is
have
a
been made as
robotic
safe as
arm.
possible. Because this
It moves
wasn't the
itself.
only factory where such incidents occurred. On similar
the f-
production lines, the approach to human-robot cooperation is sometimes so irresponsible that machines can take down entire
Nigga.
groups of workers in seconds. One of the victims of robots was
he pinned him down like a
49-year-old Mr.
fly.
Cho, who worked at a porcelain factory in China's
sorry,
Hunan
bro, that was
province
messed
in
up.
2018. During his shift, a robotic arm on the production line broke and fell. His body was instantly pierced by numerous massive metal rods. There were 10 of them, each 30 centimeters long and 12 millimeters thick. Since most of the rods entered his shoulder, the man survived. However, when the injured worker was brought to the hospital, problems arose. Due to the metal foreign bodies, doctors couldn't perform an X-ray or MRI and
sorry,
had to
chat,
operate
bro.
blindly. It turned out that one of the rods nearly hit an artery, passing just 1/10 of a millimeter from it. Surgeons worked all night and managed to save Cho's life. Details about how and why the accident happened are unknown, but it's evident that the safety protocols at this porcelain factory need improvement. A year earlier, another Chinese
is
resident,
everything happening
Yang
in
Ming,
China?
found himself in a similar situation
Ming.
at a construction site. During his shift, the 37-year-old worker made a typical but fatal mistake. He accidentally touched exposed wires. However,
Fucking
the
wires.
shock threw him directly onto a 120-centimeter metal rod, which passed through Ming's body like a knife through butter. The shocked but conscious man was taken to the hospital, where it became clear just how lucky he was. The rod miraculously missed all vital organs, only slightly grazing the intestines, bladder, pancreas, liver, and lungs, without causing any bleeding. Ming was still conscious when he was taken in for a 7-hour surgery. The surgeons removed the rod from his body, but still, he had a long...
Chat. This is by far probably one of the most craziest videos that I've watched on my channel, bro. This video was sad, and it's just crazy. Creepiest, yes. I'll say this is definitely creepy, bro. And it's definitely like, bro, it's just definitely, it's crazy, bro. And a lot of it was happening in like across the world. Good thing it's not happening like around, America right now, because we American, or I don't know actually who. Okay, I shouldn't say that, but I'm saying though, right? It's just crazy that it's like, bro, it's a lot happening in China though. Like I feel like it's more of like they got confused on what they're doing, and then boom, that happened, bro. Damn, bro, I feel so bad, bro. But chat. Oh, by the way, I'm not dissing anybody from China. I'm not dissing anyone, okay? I'm not here to diss anyone, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, chat, I'm gonna catch you on the next video, you know what I'm saying? And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And stay tuned, man. Subscribe to that Twitch, man. It's a link in the bio. And hell yeah, I'm gonna catch y'all next time. Yes, sir.